All right, guys. Today's masterclass is around the best practices of all you need to know about SOC or Security Operations Center. So our expert today, Mr. Sivaprasad Sahukar. I have had the pleasure with working with him for almost a year now, and he spans with an experience of almost close to 2 decades of industry experience in cybersecurity. And his experience spells across multiple domains within cybersecurity with a specialization around SOC. He's been born and brought up in Hyderabad and has been a resident of Bangalore for over a decade now. He's currently working with Softpath Systems as a CISO and a SOC head. And one of his major job responsibilities is in building up best practices to ensure that all the departments within the company run efficiently. He also comes with a line of certifications, including but not limited to CEH, CP, ISI, etc. And one of the biggest things that I have personally learned from Shiva sir is that there's always this constant need to learn new things. And I personally have had the pleasure to have also increased my knowledge base with the communications that I've had with him. It's a privilege to have someone like him on our platform. And this is we have had multiple sessions in the past. So I request everybody to give a warm welcome to him and we can get the session started. So whenever you're ready, the class is yours.
Thank you, Kaushik. Thanks for your introduction. So let me share my screen again.
Sure, sir. Sorry.
No problem. Okay, so again, welcome everyone. I know it's an evening and most of you may be wrapping up your day. So just we'll try to make it a little bit more interesting and we'll delve a little bit more into SOC and we'll also get into the kind of skills which in today's SOC is expecting or expected or the way in which organizations are looking forward. Okay. So yeah, I think, Kaushik has given an introduction of me. I'll not go about it again. So first we'll talk about SOC and its various services in different organizations. So let me put it in this way. Every organization look at security operations as one of their go-to in terms of defending against the threats and also not just about threats. SOC is always looked at as an organization or an entity which is built to defend a lot of threats coming out from various vectors, but also SOC does many more things. Okay, so there is a constant evolution of an IT in every organization today. Now, SOC actually is the go-to entity or a go-to organization to support business and also to manage the entire risk of an organization. So mainly we're talking about cyber risk. So I'll just try to highlight some of the some of the key services or a function inside a SOC. But again, depending upon different organizations, size, scale, the different entities or some of the organizations are so huge that they have to have multiple SOCs in their own, in their overall, CISO organization or cyber defense organization. So one of them definitely is incident management. We keep talking about incidents. We also talk about incidents as an entire organization. So every organization obviously has a certain bit of incident management built across the function. So I'm not talking about just cybersecurity incident. We're also talking about incident managed at a business level. That is, you definitely have IT related incidents. We also have cyber related incidents. So incident management as in SOC function becomes extremely critical. So under incident management, you have multiple tools, you have a lot of solutions. You also use enterprise-wide ticketing solution to manage these incidents. So incident management itself is one of key function in a SOC. Beyond this, we keep talking about the various defense, defensive technology or say firewalls. You have secure email and web content or web gateways. You have EDR, DLP, you have many other solutions, IDS, IPS or UEBS and NAC and many more. Managing, configuring the whole change management process of these solution again comes in the purview of a SOC. So we are talking about a day-to-day management of these solutions. So this is, this is not really fancy, but again, without this, generally nothing works in in any organization today. Even if a URL has to be whitelisted, or this need not be even a threat. Sometimes even if you want to provide a certain access to a server, or if you are trying to open up a new project and that project need internet, or it needs some other access from some other services, yes, the entire function completely relies on SOC, and the SOC engineers or the SOC administrator or the team inside a SOC, support this whole function. Recently, we have seen vulnerability management. So I'll talk about a few years back when vulnerability management was just, a small function where some engineer used to sit down in front of a laptop and, scan the entire network and give a report. But today, vulnerability management itself is a huge, what is a service, or a, what do you call as a team inside a SOC. So why we call it in that way is just vulnerability scanning itself is not enough. We all know about it. Going about the vulnerabilities, fixing those vulnerabilities, constantly talking with the various teams you have in an organization, starting from IT teams, you have application teams, you have database teams, and many other. So working along with them, fixing or helping them fix the vulnerabilities itself is a big challenging task. So today, we have seen vulnerability management team itself, a sizable team in any organization. In fact, in bigger organization, these teams are quite big, and they handle these huge number of vulnerabilities on IT infrastructure. You have applications, you have many other. If they are working on IoT and many other systems or devices, again, that's a whole different animal. So apart from incident management, it's a plain Jane. People have taken it as a granted task. Threat management, or say threat hunting, including the malware analysis and the rest of the functions under it, also have become a core group these days. So when we talk about threat hunting, malware analysis, or the whole reverse engineering of a malware, trying to understand what a malware does and how to prevent them, how to protect an organization against it. So this again is the whole new service line which is evolving under a SOC. Now, why we kept it as security engineering as one separate division is when you look at a larger SOC, or even some of the medium kind of a SOC, or in a MSSP kind of environment, we see engineering team, or these are the guys who go about work on projects, that is deploying a new solution, upgrading a new solution. It could be a new technology which they are trying to adopt, and how to roll it out across an organization or to a customer. So this core team or a engineering team perform this task on a day-to-day basis. They perform multiple POCs. This team sometimes is also part of the regular SOC operation team. A CISO can always go about and say, hey, these guys are the core engineering team who take care of new technology adoption and many more things. So yes, that definitely happened. Identity management. Now, this is, generally people don't see this to be a SOC operation, but if you ask me, without identity management, the whole identity lifecycle management, SOC is almost, what you call incomplete. Every organization definitely should have identity management as part of their SOC rather than keeping it aside. If it is already part of their SOC, excellent. Now that they know what's happening because of the entire identity management, how to manage these identities, what kind of privileged identities you have. So like, let's say you have root access to some of the Nix boxes, or admin access to Windows machines, or it could be applications, it could be databases. In even going up to enterprise applications. Let's say if it is it's a BFS, or if it's a bank, you have a lot of core banking systems which has identity management as a core team. If you have insurance management, or if it's an insurance company, sorry, you have insurance applications or related applications for which the whole identity managing these identities becomes extremely critical, as well authorization and many more. So we'll talk a little bit on this as well, when we talk about skills and all. But in overall, these are some of them. And then yes, there are many other functions which I have not added in this list, but they can also be talked about part of a SOC or generally in one of these segments in a SOC. Okay, we'll delve quickly into incident management. What is an incident management? I know many of you already know. Those who are new to this whole domain of incident management, we call. So let's talk in the purview of a cybersecurity, or in a SOC. So incidents can be technical and also non-technical. So what exactly it means? So technical, generally these are technical related, or say these are incidents which are happening on a system, on a server, and many other. There are also non-technical incidents. That is, let's say there could be certain physical incidents which mostly comes under a CISO's purview. Let's say there was a tailgating incident, or could be any other incident which comes under a CISO, and it has to be registered and it has to be monitored or managed under the entire incident management portfolio. Incidents can be human and machine driven or machine generated. So that is, if you have a SIEM solution, if you have any other, let's say IDS, IPS, it could be any other solution which is generating these incidents. That is a whole machine generated incident. You also have human generated incident. That is, let's say someone lost an asset of an organization. It could be a hard disk, it could be a laptop, could be anything. Now, these are all human generated incident. So this, obviously a system doesn't generate those, human generated, and again it falls under a CISO's purview or a security operations head, whichever you want to call it as in an organization, it falls under it. Not all events are incident, and yes, every incident definitely carries a certain raw severity. Now we generally talk about machine generated event to be like this. If let's say if you have a firewall and the firewall has generated a certain event, and if it has been given to, let's say, some solution like a SIEM or some other solutions like SOAR or anything, it definitely carries a certain raw event, and based on multiple correlation, or when we talk about SIEM, we all talk about correlation and the rules which the SIEM has. It can obviously alter these incident. Now, this we are talking about your machine related. Even a human generated or a non-technical incident can also have this. Multiple incidents definitely can create one, or can lead to a single incident. Let's say if you have antivirus, sorry, a malware which is hitting a endpoint, could be a laptop workstation, and you also see certain brute force happening on your Active Directory. All right. So these two may be two different solutions generating incident, but they can definitely lead to one because the signs or the traces which you see, it generally seems to be like, hey, the compromised asset is actually trying to do a brute force on an Active Directory. So yes, so when an incident management team works, they basically track this single incident rather than working on multiple incidents. Again, when we talk about incident management, so it can be part of an overall organization rather than just a cybersecurity. This I keep stressing when we talk to any customer, or when we even try to implement internally. Incident management definitely should be tied to an overall organization rather than just treating it as an IT related issue. Why is it so? Because today's business are extremely well connected into the entire applications and IT landscape. So any risk which is happening can definitely lead to a business impact. So this is where we talk about. I'll not go more technical or jargons about it. We can find all this information online. But what's more important is how do we handle or how do we treat these incidents. A little bit about SIEM. Why this slide is over here, why we are talking about SIEM right now. As a technology, SIEM has evolved a lot. So, it has all these capabilities of dashboarding, reporting. In fact, many of the SIEM has ticketing capability and many other things. It stores event, it normalizes data. Today's SIEM, we also look machine learning to be one of their, key aspect of it. So today's generation of SIEM, the data which we are giving to a SIEM is all your traditional solutions like firewalls, servers, applications, databases, and many more. But what we see moving ahead, data is not just generated by servers and firewall and security devices. Data is generated everywhere, isn't it? It is generated from your automation systems. It may be your own. Let's say if it's a manufacturing unit, a lot of machinery today are generating these events. In fact, they are getting tied up into incidents which a SOC is supposed to monitor. Let's say any incident happening. In fact, we have seen multiple attacks happening on OT or IoT devices. So what we see moving ahead, all this information, all this data will also be given to SIEM, and obviously if SIEM in turn take this data, convert into reports, alerts, dashboards, and the security or the cybersecurity team will be managing these incidents or these events on a day-to-day basis. And this whole segment is going to literally explode so huge that it becomes extremely difficult for conventional SOC to manage and handle it. So that is where we are all talking about automating SOCs and adding machine learning and AI into SIEM and other solution. But yes, this is there, this is coming, and this is going to happen. So we'll do a small quick poll, Kaushik.
So guys, the question is right in front of your screen. So the logs generated from different systems and devices are of the same format. Do you guys think it's true, or do you guys think it's false? Yep. So guys, try to put it on the, or just select the option on the poll, because once people start putting into the chat, it will be difficult to have a count of. Okay, Ankush, we'll take that question later. Awesome, guys. 70% participation, another 1 minute remaining of people if you guys want to. Yeah. All right, last 30 seconds. Last 15 seconds. Four, three, two. Thank you guys for the participation. So, sir, it seems 76% of the people have answered false. Do you want to shed some light?
Yeah, it is true. It's actually false. So not, in fact, every system generates its own, log format. So that is where one of the challenges or the reason why we adopt SIEM so well. Thank you.
Great participation, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll move next.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You can continue, Kaushik.
All right, guys, I'm just going to take a quick minute from sir. So this is just to give you a brief. So AntWak is running a cybersecurity program. We call it Cybersecurity AntWak Experiential Program. The entire duration of the course is a 16-week course wherein we cover 12 weeks of core topics, and we also provide soft skills, CV preparation, and mentoring session as a part of the course. The course is just run over weekends for a duration of 2 hours, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. Those are the core classes, and there's another class on Sunday which happens about professional skills. We don't have any academicians. All of our experts are industry professionals like Shiva sir. And each of them come with their own domain expertise. So you get to, all of these are live classes. None of them are recorded sessions. For people who aren't aware or are new to the domain, will be given pre-reads to get an idea about how the course is going to work. Also, every module is followed with a topic and a tool, so that whatever you learn conceptually can also be put into practice. Please forget about this. The structure has changed. I'll discuss the structure with you. So the idea here is that the 10 topics that are going to be covered are introduction to cybersecurity, wherein we'll be walking you through to set up your own labs on Kali Linux and VirtualBox. And then we start from very ground level network security. Then we go into cyber attacks, wherein you learn about malware reverse engineering. We also run into web application security, when we'll be penetration testing a couple of applications, followed by incident management, which is one of the tasks or the modules which is being covered today in a brief. We are also going to be doing digital forensics. There is GRC on an overview. So we'll be talking about some important compliance frameworks like the NIST, the ISO, and the GDPR. There also an identity and access management class, wherein we do 2 classes of identity and access, followed by a hands-on on the tool called ForgeRock. Additionally, we also do an SIEM and an Open CTI class, which basically kind of covers the tool for QRadar. It's about a 3-week module. We're also planning to implement Splunk in the near future. But then in a nutshell, that is sort of a brief as in the courses that we're covering right now. Also, I have shared a link in the chat window. The link has Shiva sir's promotion code, and we have a batch. So the timing of the lecture is in the evenings between 7 and 9. Chandra, there's no basic requirement as such. You should be a graduate, preferably in computers, so that it will be easier for you to transition. But even if you are a graduate, and even if you have a technical drive to do things, that will work fine as well. So we're running a limited promotional offer, wherein there are 2 options. Either you can pay after placement and before placement. So we also offer placement assistance. We have tie-ups with certain companies. If you pay 59,999 upfrontly, then and if you complete the course and don't get a job, then there is a refund as per the terms and conditions. And at the same time, if you don't have that sort of money, you can always pay 29,999 as an upfront payment. And after you get placed through us, there'll be a 15% of CTC for the next 15 months that we deduct as the balance of EMI. So I'm going to be sharing that link with you in the chat again. Do quickly register and do get an academic counseling session done, because our sessions is absolutely free. And they'll also be able to walk you through all the details of the course, and you can also get a look at the brochure. So just need to be aware that these several classes are also headed by experts like Shiva sir. Atang, the timings of the lectures is in the evenings after 7. So it's just going to be 2 hours. So yeah. Shiva sir, thank you so much, sir. You can continue.
Okay, sorry, thank you. Let's continue. Just give me a second. I'll just try to blow it off. Yeah. Okay. So continuing on the same incident management track, we'll actually get into something called as an playbooks, and we'll talk about run books a little bit. But before that, slight basics about how are we, or what are we really looking at incident response plan. Now, this is a document from NIST, or the NIST framework, where NIST talks about what are the different phases of incident response. So you have preparation, you have detection analysis, containment, eradication and recovery, and post-incident activity. So what exactly it really talks about? So you definitely need to have a lot of preparation work, in terms of what all areas you're trying to, what is your scope, what kind of documentation, what is your information. You need to gather a lot of information, when we are trying to practice, or even need to try to build an incident response plan. Detection analysis, and also in preparation phase, you gather a lot of information, logs, what exactly happened, when it happened, many other questions comes out of it. Detection and analysis, either you use a tool or use any other methodology, you need to perform a lot of analysis of your gathered information. Next phase definitely is how do you contain and contain, eradicate, and obviously recover and from the incident. So this happens. So the whole point of, let's say, if a machine is infected with a virus, or if there is a DOS attack which is happening, how exactly you are going to contain that threat to have while happening. Either you are isolating a network, or if you're isolating a device, or if you're isolating a server from a containment or further containment, and then how exactly you are going to recover from an impact. Let's say because of certain threat or certain impact, let's say it is a malware or if it is a DOS, there is a huge impact on your network. How exactly you are going to recover? So we'll not talk about that entire piece of BCP and all those things, where IT and the entire organization sit together, build a recovery plan. But at least even in terms of your incident plan, they definitely need to have a certain recovery steps. Post-incident, obviously the whole RCA and building or updating your knowledge base. So every incident teaches you a lot of lessons, and a lot of, in fact, it will show you where exactly is the gap. So I personally, really like what exactly happened after the incident. Why? Because it definitely shows where exactly is the gap. To a attacker, let's say the gaps in a incident management or gaps in cyber security or the processes under a SOC or processes, various processes which we have in your cyber defense is extremely important, because the gaps is where attacker is definitely interested, and here they will try to exploit that gaps. So to narrow the gap or to build a better cyber defense for an organization, that is where post learnings help a lot. And yes, the whole process of refining that entire response, the incident response plan is very important. So it's a continuous process, it keeps happening. So if you see the cycle, it's a continuous cycle. What exactly happened, or what is that which is really expected in an organization? So the dependencies in an organization is extremely important, starting from management, IT, legal team, third parties, OEMs, and many other teams based on the size and scale of an organization. Let it be a small startup, let it be a multinational which may have some 100,000 employees and many more. So it doesn't matter what's large scale and size of an organization. Incident management or the whole response plan is very crucial. We have seen this time and again, companies or organizations getting impacted by various malware or ransomware, and obviously the the cyber defense team are constantly being put under pressure and asked to respond. Yes, that is a panic situation by any organization. I myself have seen that multiple times, or even faced multiple times, and having a steady state and having a proper processes in place really help any organization in handling these various threats. So I'll probably take one or two examples if we have enough time, just to move ahead. So incident response team, what kind of structure we are looking at? So so in a SOC, so in a cybersecurity SOC, or your entire operations in a cybersecurity. So generally the teams can be centralized, or it can be in a single location. It could be distributed, or it could be it's a coordination team. So it can be between multiple teams. In terms of employees, it can be internal, it could be outsourced. So all those things definitely happen in a SOC. Structure, again, it depends upon what is that SOC is meant to do. Sometimes a CISO is meant to comply based on whatever regulations they are working in, or whatever compliances the business has to satisfy. So based on that as well, SOC is built. Sometimes SOC is divided into internal and external. That is, a portion of SOC is being hired from an external agency like an MSSP or a third party, whichever it may be. And the incident response team could be internal. So it's a combination of it, with combination of all these. It depends upon how exactly it is needed, what is that CISO looking at, the cost of it. Sometimes even expertise matter a lot, which is, we have seen it time and again that, expertise in a cybersecurity is a little bit lacking. And yes, CISOs are forced to hire external agencies or third party to manage their SOC. And also sometimes it becomes more efficient. So many other factors look into it. So we'll talk about what is a SOC playbook. So why SOC playbook? So I'll give you some examples. I'll not go about reading about text and everything here. So I'll share you some example or some of my own experience. What is that we are looking at. So I was actually conducting multiple interviews. So my whole career, I have taken multiple interviews and many other. So you will be surprised to hear that even till date, some of the largest organizations don't have a proper process, or sometimes, we call it as a SOC playbooks in place. So what exactly is SOC playbook? Just, you can see one which is there in front of your screen, but I'll give you a simple example. If let's say, the one which is in front of you, let's say if it is a phishing email which comes into a SOC team or SOC bucket, what is that they have to do? Is there a documented process or a step-by-step process? What exactly they have to do? And this SOC playbook has to be literally digested by the entire team or SOC team, which is in action, starting from the, let's say, topmost manager layer till the L1 analyst. Everyone should know what is this SOC playbook, what exactly it talks about. If an incident hits into their bucket, or if something happened, a cybersecurity incident happened, what is that has to be taken? What kind of steps has to be taken? Whom are they going to contact, or what kind of third-party services they have subscribed, which they can capitalize? Let's say if you got a IP address where which you feel that it's malicious, what is that you need to do? Do you have a subscription where threat intel subscription where you can feed in and get an opinion from a third party, or whether you already know that that IP address belongs to blocked domain or a blacklisted domain? So all these information has to be properly documented in a SOC playbook, and this becomes what is a key in any SOC in operations. And this SOC playbook is what we call it as automation. So if you wanted to automate your task, if you don't wanted to work on these rudimentary everyday incidents or events coming onto your bucket, this is a place where things can be automated. If you have a good SOC playbook written, now when we talk about SOC playbook written, it's as simple as just putting up a small flow diagram like this, and then feeding it to a more tools like your SOAR, where you can automate a lot of your tasks, which will reduce the entire SOC team's manpower or time. So yes, so SOC playbooks help you with that. These are flows, or these are actually processes in which an entire SOC works, or SOC should work. And it can be enhanced. You can keep updating your playbooks. You can fine tune, tweak. You can see what kind of gaps you have in your process, and you can either fill the gap with technology, or it could be some process tweaking, or it could be manpower. It could be anything. So that is what I would say should have. And so there are multiple examples which we talk about SOC playbook, and SOAR is obviously the whole solution which today's world is talking about. A term which is coined by Gartner is automating this entire SOC playbook. So that is starting from, let's say, an event which is triggered in a firewall. So there you suddenly see an attack which is happening. Firewall has blocked it. The event comes into your SIEM, and what is that what is that event which has to be done. So once it is in your bucket, what do you want to do? You wanted to perform certain analysis on that IP address, or if you wanted to feed into any other system which you can further enhance. Let's say if it could be some UEBA, or it could be some other solution, let's say a blacklisted IP address, or it could be an IP address which you saw in one region of your entire operations. Let's say an organization has 3 different SOC under in 3 different countries or regions. The information from one SOC can definitely be, but obviously get shared from other SOC or SOC team, and they may be using many other tools or technologies. So how exactly you are going to build your entire SOC playbook? And if you have a more automated solutions like SOAR, how is this SOAR going to prevent so to automate certain tasks? Let's say the IP address gets automatically updated into a block list, or if it is a malware, and that malware, obviously you can get a hash out of it, and that hash gets updated into your, let's say, assume a EDR solution. So these kind of tasks, which could be quite regular, quite what do you say, daunting to a SOC, because the team which is working under it with a limited number of team monitoring 24/7, they get bombarded with all these information, all these events and alerts, without having a proper playbook. Obviously one, and once you have a playbook, how do you automate these playbooks? In fact, you can go with a SOAR. There are a lot of SOARs which are available, starting from your open source to even commercial ones. You can automate the entire task or entire process and integrate different solutions in a SOC to streamline these process, and where the team works on real events or real issues. Because let's assume there is a spam or there is a phishing alert, phishing attack. In an organization, assume you have some 10,000 employees, and 5,000 of those employees are getting these phishing emails. Suddenly, as per your company policy, it says that all the phishing email has to be forwarded to a spam bucket. Imagine the team who has to work under it. If it is the same kind of phishing email, you are in a luck that you just need to work on one alert. But assume you are getting different variants of the same kind of a phishing or a email threat, then yes, the task becomes a little bit more complicated and daunting for a team which has to work. So these kind of processes can definitely be automated, and we time and again we talk about how do you build these automation platform. Directly jumping on a SOC or a SOAR platform to automate doesn't make sense. You definitely need to have certain process built in and then automate the whole part. So yes. So we'll do another quick poll before we finally close it off with 2 more slides. Kaushik?
Okay, so the question is right on your screen. Do ignore the spelling of below, especially the singular. OEMs and vendors release which are the below types of patches: service pack patches, hotfix, security patches, or all of the above. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. All right, so 63% of them have answered all of the above. 30% of them have answered security patches.
Yes, so I understand some of them why they answered security patches, but yes, it's generally all of them. Why? Because many times OEMs bundle multiple patches into one service pack. Sometimes they even release a hot fixes, security patches, obviously, yes. So yes, it's generally all of them, but that's okay. We understand how the answer of it, so not a problem. In fact, there was I was just going about looking at a video on F-35 Lightning. So F-35 Lightning, we all know it's a fighter jet, and even fighter jet, the patches have been rolled out on the air. So it has a OTA, over the air updates. So imagine, such a huge or such a massive, complicated technology like a fighter jet also gets updates, also gets patches rolled out. Uh, so from their parent company, Lockheed. So this is not new, and this is something which we have to, handle with, or we have to do. And the cybersecurity team will have a special role. I'll talk about that. What exactly we mean. So we'll talk about more on the SOC L1 tools and skills. So here we'll talk more about what kind of skills or traits which SOC team should have. Now this is both with a manager or a SOC leader who's actually trying to hire, as well as a new analyst who are actually trying to get into this domain. So first and foremost, so this is my way in looking at it. Investing in self. So in cybersecurity, there is no discount. The thing is, you need to be a constant learner, gathering information, learning new things, understanding how the entire IT landscape is changing. Not cybersecurity. Obviously, cybersecurity, which is a default, we don't need to ask about it. The IT landscape, how exactly it is changing, where exactly it is going, how businesses are adopting, let's say, new age solutions like cloud, infra as a, and containers. It could be anything. It could be services from multiple providers. It could be SaaS. Knowing them, understanding them is key. And obviously, you need to invest yourself into cybersecurity, learn these solutions, not just like satisfying an organization where you're working, but also for your own self. This is where I was talking about, a key trait, a skill which a cybersecurity guy should have: collaboration and negotiation skill. Now, negotiation is a little bit more of a, you may say, why I need to negotiate something to someone. Collaboration, I understand. Cybersecurity guys need to have this skill because they need to work with multiple IT teams. It could be business teams. It could be, even it could be your own CISO, your own head of organization. Even negotiation, it could be your head of your organization. When we talk about negotiation, you may be working or you may be discussing, let's say, I'll give an example. If you found out a vulnerability on an application, so what is that you need to do? You need to actually literally negotiate with application team onto fixing that vulnerability. So they may actually go about saying that, hey, this is not important, or whatever it may be the case. But if you are a good negotiator, and if you're able to put yourself out, saying that this is extremely vital, it has to be fixed. Without that, your organization is going to suffer. Okay. So now these kind of collaboration and negotiation skill are, utmost basic. If you're good at it, believe me, more than 50 or 60% of your work is being done, because whatever that you wanted to showcase, it could be an attack, it could be an incident. Even if you wanted to work along with a team which is not really helpful to you in an organization, which is pretty common, go any organization, talk to any cybersecurity guy. The one thing they will definitely talk about is how how exactly they are being put cornered in every organization, because no one likes a cybersecurity guy, because he's a troublemaker, or they keeps pushing other team to fix it or do something, or maybe other things. So yes, collaboration, negotiation skill, utmost basic. Critical thinking, be it during an incident, or be it because of various technology advancement, or could be organizational change, critical thinking becomes utmost, vital. Now, these skills are not just at a L1. Obviously, it grows by years. You work in an organization, or you work up your skills or your ladder, and gain more experience. It happens. Now, strong fundamentals and IT skills. Now, why I need to learn about OS, or why I need to why I should talk about applications or networking and many other things. If you look at the way which I see, without understanding what you're protecting, it becomes very difficult for you to put forward your opinion in front of your management, or it could be in front of the team who are actually what you say they are managing these solutions. Let's assume without you understanding how an operating system has to be installed, or how exactly a networking works, or how applications are built, or how databases have been spawned up, and the huge masses of data which they handle, without understanding that, I'm not saying that someone has to have a deep understanding. No, you need to have a deep understanding, but at least you need to know, or everyone in cybersecurity definitely should know what exactly are they handling. Now, this is just IT skills I'm talking about. There could be many other fundamentals which you need to understand in terms of compliances, policies, risk management, many other things. But again, that will come later on. But at least IT skills, because the whole part of cybersecurity is to know IT deeper. I would say it is very much needed. And yes, working under pressure, I don't need to specifically mention this, but again, this is a good pressure. The way which I see, when when an incident happen, you literally sit in a war room, and you will have people surrounding you. They will be looking at you for you to give an answer, or you to respond, or you to give some direction, even to the CISO of a company. So if you say that hey, this incident will cause you so and so, or this is what is happening, starting from the junior most guy to the CISO of an organization will be looking at you for answers, responses, and many other things. So yes, the environment will be a little bit of a pressure, but it will be equally quite interesting. Again, there are many more skills, but I would say these are some extremely basic and common skills which every cybersecurity guy should have. Fundamentals of a cybersecurity and IT skills, like as simple as how an operating system works, how exactly networking works, how applications work, how database work, how a cloud works, how SaaS works. So these are some basic fundamental skills or knowledge which every cybersecurity guy should have. And yes, now this we don't need to say something beyond it. If you can think like a hacker, you are you know what is happening around you. If you know that hey, if I am the guy who's attacking an organization like this, or I'm trying to penetrate this particular loophole, either it could be a technology, either it could be a process. If you have that kind of a mindset, it's extremely simple, or I wouldn't say simple, it becomes easier for a cybersecurity professional to build defenses around an organization. That's how I see. So it's common saying, right? So if you know the bullet, you know how to defend it, or you know how to build a shield. So that is how it is. If you can think like a hacker, you're I would say you have a good career path in cybersecurity. Some of the tools which which a skilled cybersecurity professional should have or should know, it's an infinite knowledge which is there. I just try to put some of them, but again, this is not limited, just being a cautionary note. Some of the basic networking tools, or like Nmap, ping trace, and there are many other tools, and I'm not mentioning all of those here. Knowing them, literally digesting them, try to use them no matter in which kind of a scenario. They are extremely helpful. They make a good arsenal when you're trying to build your career in cybersecurity. Any vulnerability scanner, doesn't matter if it is an open source, commercial, I would say one you should definitely know. Why you need to look at a vulnerability scanning tool? It is the way which an attacker look at. If you are a hacker, you definitely would like to know what kind of loopholes an organization have. If I'm trying to run a vulnerability scanner, what kind of information I'm capturing from an organization. So there are many mapping tools, scanning tools. I'm not mentioning all of those. These are just basic fundamental tools just to start off with. Understanding or working knowledge of these solutions or many more solutions. At least you need to definitely know what kind of, what is a firewall, or if it is a UTM box, today's generation of firewalls are all called UTMs, or some of the UTM devices where you have content filter, you have many other filtering capability, either at a perimeter or within the organization also. So when I say organization, it could be cloud, on-prem, could be anywhere. EDR, you could be DLP, many other solutions are there. I'm not mentioning all of those again, but having these solutions under your belief, knowing how these things work, how exactly an organization prevent or deploy these to prevent from various threats happening, extremely useful. And these are quite easily available over the internet. Even many of them give you community editions and free tools of these to install and then play around. Or you can get into trainings and then learn more about it. SIEM threat intel, I didn't even mention to put anything more, because SIEM, why SIEM? Because if you look at this way, every system, or if you really wanted to have insights of an organization, what's happening, organization have clearly took SIEM as one of their key tool, knowing them, trying to understand them, how exactly they function, many more, even threat intel. So today, threat intel, you have a lot of free subscriptions available. You can subscribe them. You can see how exactly these threat intelligence or the threat feed work. So when I say threat feed, there are many organizations, governments, agencies who are freely sharing threat information, starting from IPs, from regions, name, countries, cities, to the kind of groups which are trying to attack, even to the kind of hashes of various compromised applications. All of these information you will get quite easy, free of cost. I would say that is one area. This is, pandemic has opened up entire new area of threat vector, and this is another area which, little less explored or little less invested by many organizations, and this has been quite well used by hackers. So any secure remote solution which you get hands-on of, in fact, many again are free of cost, or even you have commercially available solutions. If you know the working knowledge of it, it becomes extremely important for you, because as an analyst, once they get in, they are being put in, or given work to handle these things, just to start off with, let's say, update a certain firewall policies, or looking at a SIEM for, events or alerts which are coming in. Threat intel, looking at multiple threat intel and, making more sense of it. Or it could be any remote access, VPN, ZTNA, or it could be an EDR, or it could be a vulnerability management or vulnerability scanners, which is churning out hundreds and thousands of vulnerabilities out of an organization. So all of this, as in a knowledge makes sense. Again, this is all about a knowledge. If you get a hands-on of any technology, much better, but definitely at most basic is knowledge. IDAM, PIM, PAM, again, if someone is interested, or if an organization is taking you on the basis of skills in IDAM, basically that whole identity access management, or the identity lifecycle of it. So every organization obviously has an identity under their belt, and they have to manage it. So this area as well becomes very important. And last is hands-on of, or if you have a hands-on, or if you know how exactly a cloud operate, it's if you ask me, it's sort of a must, because every organization today are leaping forward into cloud and cloud services. I would say, if you know, or if you have a knowledge about it. that is a key area of your arsenal. Quick poll, I think.
Okay, guys, the last poll for the day, and it's on a screen. What are the different types of challenges faced by SOC? Meanwhile, Shiva sir, we have one question. Where, it's by Ankush, who said, "What is the future of SIEM after automation?"
Right. SIEM is still there. It's not gone. Just that, we are looking at more incarnations of SIEM or adding more, capabilities and, features onto SIEM, like, vendors or OEMs are building AI ML into SIM. They're adding SOAR to SIM and making the whole thing more, automating the entire thing. So yes, SIEM is there. It's not gone, just that shape or incarnation is happening.
All right. So that's about it. There are no other questions as such. There is one question from Imran where it says, which tool we are utilized ArcSight, QRadar, Splunk? I think he was just wanting to check what sort of tools would you recommend for the SIE over ArcSight, QRadar, and Splunk. I think that's what the question is.
Excellent. So in terms of a SIM, all of these solution, in fact, ArcSight was one of the pioneer, when it started, but many other solutions have came in. I won't discount anything to anyone. Every solution has its own place in the world. Just my take, and also the way industry is moving, because we are capturing so much data in our SIM. If a SIM solution has more flexibility or capability to scale without breaking and without losing any information, that kind of a solution is being accepted quite well. And obviously, if it has more features like could be ML, AI ML, or it could be SOAR, if it can integrate quite easily with the entire gamut of an organization. Yes, so that is where that is the kind of a SIM which I would look at. So yes, probably Splunk or even Elk is doing well, and QRadar is also doing well. So these are something which are good.
So we finished off the poll. 66% of them have answered all of the above, and there is a mix of 27% around skill shortage.
Yeah, that is true. In fact, all of the above is the way which is we are looking at. But yeah, organization to organization could vary here and there, but all of them are some of the challenges which we look at.
So do we have anything more to cover? We're done?
No, we are in fact done. We are at a Q&A. If anyone has any questions.
I think we just have one last question for the day. There is Ashish Khare, and he I think is looking for some sort of recommendations for a project in SOC for final year students. I'm not really sure if that question could be catered here.
Right. Yeah, it's the cybersecurity domain is quite large, and if someone wanted to get into wanted to do some projects into it, yeah, based on their time, interest, there are a lot of projects or a lot of tools which are available. I would say, yeah, how well they can spend the time and quickly close a project is more important than what is best to them, because some of the projects can take a lot of time and without looking at it.
Awesome. Okay, I think we'll just pick up one last question, sir, from Shankar. Most of the antivirus are signature based, but EDR takes care more than that? Question mark. I think just wants to have a comparative study between EDR and.
Yeah, definitely. So it is true. Just a signature-driven solutions cannot keep up with the kind of variances or families which we are looking at in terms of the whole endpoint security which we are looking. So behavioral based or AIML driven solutions are doing much better. This is where we are looking at solutions which are not isolated or so solutions just installed and work. It has to be very much proactive in defending endpoints. Yes, signature based are not doing the that will be there. Signature driven solutions will be there, or even the existing solutions will have a signature based, but the predominance of detection and protection will be from behavior or anomaly based.
Perfect. All right, guys, there's a quick feedback on your screen. I think 65% of you people have already done it. For the rest of it, if you guys can quickly complete the feedback. I'm passing there. Supraja, to answer your question, I think sir would agree on this. I think, sir, I think just one last question. I think we can call it. This is a student from Suraj, I think. She's pursuing BTech, and they just want to check if there are any job opportunities available regardless of programming knowledge.
Regarding programming?
Regardless, if they don't have any programming language.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So programming, if you know programming, it is good. But in cybersecurity, you don't need to worry that someone doesn't know how programming and all. It is still you can pursue a career in cybersecurity without a programming background.
Awesome. I think, sir, that's about it. Guys, thank you so much for attending today's session. Sir, thank you so much for coming on the AntWak platform.
My pleasure.
Informative. Also, guys, whoever have applied for register for today's event, the recordings will be available on the portal in a couple of days. And also, if you guys are being advised about certificates, it will be emailed to you as well. But apart from that, thank you so much for making up today's session. Shivaza, thank you so much again for coming on the AntWak platform and making an amazing session around SOC. It's always a pleasure to host you, and we look forward for more future collaborations.
Thank you so much, Kaushik and AntWak team. It was a pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You guys take care of yourself. Good night. Bye.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.